Good evening, people buying stuff from Injuku. Today we're going to be doing a Walbro 255 liter per hour fuel pump. It came nicely packaged, and all this paper, fuel pump's all bubble wrapped. We got our little package of install parts here. We're going to remove the fuel pump relay so we can relieve fuel pressure. On an S13, it's going to be under this cap on the passenger side. If you have it relocated, you'll know where it's at. Alright, according to the diagram, it is the 15 amp relay right here. Now that the relay is removed, we're going to turn it over and just wait until it dies, because then fuel pressure will be relieved. Alright, now that fuel pressure is relieved, we're going to disconnect the negative battery terminal, because we're going to be working with some wiring. In the back here, you have 4 10mm bolts that hold this cover down on top of your gas tank. And this plate's going to stop you from taking it off right here. It's held on with these 2 Phillips head screws. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this connector over here. And now that cover is loose. And now we are going to disconnect these lines. Keep in mind, when you take these off, some fuel might still leak out of it. There's 2 lines. There's one held on with a Phillips head clamp, and then there's one which you'll need needle nose pliers to just kind of crush and move out of the way. Remember, when you're doing this, which line goes to which port on the top. I just removed the clamp that you need the needle nose pliers to take off, and then I took the screw out of the other one. It's right here. I'm going to put that with the rest of my bolts so I don't lose anything. But this will just bend out a little bit, and you can either take it off, which I'm about to do, or you slide it back. I wouldn't really recommend just sliding it back because it might fall down in there. Just kind of bends and it'll come right out. When we take these lines off, these things are kind of hard to take off sometimes, so we'll see how easy these ones come off. I'm gonna try to work this. You might need to use a flathead screwdriver, needle nose pliers, or a large pair of pliers. Sure enough, they're pretty tight on there, so I'm just going to work around it with the flathead a little bit to kind of loosen it up, and from there I should be able to do a combination of pulling it off and then pushing it off with the flathead. Oh, and there it goes.
Look.
Alright. We got a small screw here. It's actually not very small. We got that screw, and I'm just gonna put it in there, kind of start it, and then give it a little twist a few times to keep any remaining fuel that could leak out from leaking out. Just kind of set it off to the side there. Gonna move that clamp out of the way and work on the other line. Alright. Now that I got both those lines off, there are, if you want to get a shot of this zoom, there's going to be 6 8mm screws holding a circular plate on to the top of the fuel tank. And I'll point those out. There's 1, there's 2, 3, 4, 5 right here, and 6 is kind of under these lines. Now you can either use a Phillips head on these or the 8mm ratchet with a small extension, which is what I'm going to do. I don't trust Phillips heads. Good stripping line or screws like this. Pretty loose on there. I just took those 6 8mm screws out, and this cap will lift out. Bringing with it your fuel pump. There we go. Also, this is your fuel level gauge right there. Now that we got the fuel pump out, you can see how it's connected on there. This bottom part, it will slide in and out. And then we got the fuel line, or this small little rubber hose, connecting this metallic hose to the pump. And I'm going to take off these clamps so I can take these wires off that are held with Phillips head screws. Slide that out, pull the pump off, and there it is right there. Now with the Phillips head screwdriver, move these screws, get these wires off. There's one, that's our ground, the black one. And there's 2. The red one is our positive. And there you see is our old fuel pump. The whole assembly with the pump removed. And here's our 2 wires that were connected to the pump. What we need to do is, this is the connector that came with the Walbro 255. And this side will connect into the pump. And what we need to do is attach red to red and black to black. In the box, in the install kit, they provide you with some crimps to just cut them, splice them, and cut them, strip them, and crimp them together. But we don't really like crimps, so what we're going to do is solder them. Now that we got our connector all soldered on there nice and neat, we got our new Walbro 255 liter per hour fuel pump. We have the new filter. We have the little rubber retaining piece that'll go on there. This is the stock one versus the Walbro one. Same size, it'll fit.